All right, welcome to this lesson, which is not in our textbook. We're calling it 3O. This is going to be the slope of parallel and perpendicular lines. Some things that you did in algebra show up here. Please forgive me. I know I'm wearing a big, heavy jacket because it's especially cold here today. So that's not what I normally wear, I know, but I'm cold. Anyway, find the slope of the line that passes through these two things. Well, the formula for slope is y minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and we end up with 7 minus 7 is 0 over 5, which simplifies to 0. Okay, so that's the slope of this line is 0. Let's take a look at this. Plot the points. Those 2 points get plotted up here and here. Yeah, and okay, there is then the line that passes through. Okay, name 2 other points. Well, you can name any points. Here are the 2 that I named, 0, 7 and 5, 7. 0, 7 is here, 5, 7 is here. Those are points on the line. You could have named any point on here. What do you notice? 3, 7, negative 2, 7, 0, 7, 5, 7. What do you notice? Hopefully you're noticing that all of the y's are 7. All of the y's are 7. So here's what happens. When the slope is 0, it's a horizontal line. Horizontal lines have slope of 0, and they have the equation y equals some constant, some number. In this case, this line up here is y equals 7. Why is it y equals 7? Because every y up here is 7. X can be anything, y is 7. Okay? Look over here. What happens if we do the slope over here? We do 5 minus negative 2 over 4 minus 4 is 7 over 0. Oh no, 0 is on the bottom. That means the slope is undefined. There's no slope. Let's plot these points over here. What does this look like? We plot these 2 points. We draw the line. That is a vertical line. Okay. Oh, time for class. Name the other points that are on the line. Well, 4, 1, and 4, negative 5 are the 2 that I chose. You could have chosen whichever ones you want. Well, what do you notice? This is 4, negative 2, 4, 5, 4, 1, 4, negative 5. All of the x's are 4. Okay? So, we have a vertical line. There's no slope. The slope is undefined, and it's the equation x equals something. In this case, this is a line x equals 4. So, when you're the equation of a horizontal line is y equals something. The equation of a vertical line is x equals something. Pretty simple. Okay? A little backwards from what you think of as x is horizontal, y is vertical, but still, that's all that it is. So, these are the types of questions that I'm going to be asking you. Graph the lines and name the point of intersection for x equals 5 and y equals negative 5. Well, x equals, is that a horizontal or vertical? X is vertical. So, this is going to be a vertical line. Now, here's a way to remember this. Just count on the x number line until you get to 5, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And when you get to the 5th one on the number line, make it big, because that's your line. There's your vertical line at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Vertical line, x equals 5. And then for count on the y-axis, count to negative 5. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. There it is. There's my horizontal y equals negative 5 line. And where do they intersect? Well, this is what's magical here. What is the intersection? The intersection is where x equals 5 and y equals negative 5. Hello? X equals 5, y equals negative 5. 5, negative 5. Okay? I'm going to do that. I did that one example for you. See if you can do 2 through 5. Is x equals 8? Is that a horizontal line or a vertical line? Is y equals negative 2? Is that horizontal or vertical? Where do they intersect? See if you can figure it out. The video better be paused while you do this. Seriously. Did you get these answers? I want you to pay attention. Look how stinking easy the intersection is here, people. 8, 8, negative 2, 2. Y is equal to negative 6, negative 6. X equals 3, 3. The intersections of those lines is, well, what they are equal to. Okay? Now, this question comes at you from a different direction. It says, write the equation and then graph the line of the horizontal line that passes through x or y. Well, if it's a horizontal line, is that an x equals line or a y equals line? What do we say? Horizontal lines are y equals. Well, what is y equal in this case? Y equals 9. So you can go up and plot that point, 5, 9, and then draw the horizontal line through it. But that's the equation, y equals 9. Okay? Vertical, number 7. Is that going to be x equals or y equals? Vertical lines are x equals. X equals what? Well, in this case, what does x equal? Okay, see if you can figure. Go finish this. See if you can. If you got questions, come see me, ask me, whatever. But these are the answers. Okay, just making sense? X equals and Y equals. They're simple creatures. They're either horizontal or vertical. Why are we talking about this? Well, of course, every Y and X equal lines creates perpendicular lines. We're talking about just an X and Y equals. Everything in here is perpendicular. All right, let's move on. Slopes. This is, you do this in algebra too. When lines are parallel, the slopes of lines are equal. Same slope. When two lines are perpendicular, then the slopes of the lines are opposite reciprocals. Their product is always -1. If you multiply the two slopes together, you always get -1. So the first thing I want you to remember is this. If we have this slope that's given, it's 2/5 of a line, then a line that is parallel to that line would have the same slope, 2/5. The perpendicular slope, this is where the opposite reciprocal comes in. We got to flip the 2 over the 2 and 5, make it 5/2, and make it negative. -5/2. Should be a piece of cake. Finish this, 12 through 20. Okay. Oh yeah, and the product here, just to show you this, the product, 2 times 5 is 10, 5 times 2 is 10, positive to negative, so you get -10/10 is -1. The product here, -4/7, I'm 7/4, so you get -1. That just happens every time. Okay? I bet I threw some people off here. Flip the page and talk about zero slopes and, well, what zero slopes and perpendicular to that would do. All right. Now, do you remember having equations in algebra and then determining whether they're parallel or perpendicular? May not, but you did. So given these two lines, these two equations of lines, determine if their graphs are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Well, here's my example. This is the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. If this is y equals mx plus b form, y equals mx minus 7, the slope, m, is 2/3. What is the slope of this one? -2/3. Okay, so are those the same? No, one's positive, the other's negative. Are they opposite reciprocals? They're opposite reciprocals? No, they're not reciprocals. So these are neither parallel nor perpendicular. Okay? Several of these are in slope-intercept form. You should be able to figure this out. All right, the next example. This is called standard form. ax plus by is equal to c. That should sound at least slightly familiar to you. And here's the deal. We can relate this to slope. Here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this equation that's in standard form, and I'm going to get y by itself, turning into y equals mx plus b form. So I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. I'm putting the x in front of the 4x in front of the 12 so that it's in mx plus b form. Divide by -3, and then you simplify. I got -3 over -3 becomes y. -4 divided by -3 becomes positive 4/3. X, that's your slope, equals 12 over -3 is -4. This is the slope intercept form of this equation. So my slope there is 4/3. I can do the same thing for 3x plus 4y. Oh, let me back up here. Here's a simpler way. If this is ax plus by equals c, a is equal to 4, b is equal to -3. Look at this. The slope is a over b, except if that was negative, what happens? The slope is negative a over b. The a and the b are here and here. They ended up being divided, but then of course it's the opposite sign once it moves over. So a simpler way of your standard form of finding the slope is to go negative a over b, the opposite of a over b. So here, if a is 3 and b is 4, the slope of this line is -3/4. I did that one without solving for y. If that makes sense to you, it's a whole lot simpler. Okay? So now, are these slopes 4/3 and -3/4 parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Those are perpendicular. They are opposite reciprocals. So you know the drill. Pause the video, do these 9, and we'll see what pieces we need to pick up at the end. These are answers. I better be seeing some work here on these, or or I know that you just copied my answers, and that makes me sad. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Get some rest. There's a lot going on. Bye.